I let my mama and her new husband move into my home because she was struggling financially, right? A month later, her husband done sat me down to have the talk, asking me to pay rent in my own house. Now, I'm appalled. See, I'm a 28-year-old man and I own a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house. It ain't much, but it's in a nice neighborhood. I worked hard and saved hard to get it after staying with roommates who wouldn't flush the toilet, who wouldn't clean the toilet, who wouldn't wash the dishes. You get it, right? After all that, I saved money and finally got my own spot, which I like. It's nice. I'm happy with it, right? I haven't even been staying here for long when my mama called me. My mama called me with that old somber voice. Give me an old sap story, son. I hate to be calling you right now, but my landlord selling my condo. I done stayed here for 8 years. I don't have nowhere to go. I looked at other apartments and everything that I can afford is in a bad neighborhood. I just need to come stay with you for a couple of months until I get on my feet and I have enough money for first and last month's rent. Blase, blase. That's basically what she said. And I, of course, don't have the best relationship with my mama. My dad left when I was 7, and I saw him maybe twice a year after I got older, didn't see him at all. And after that, she had a span of boyfriends. One guy which she married, which was all right for a little while, but he never made her happy. And then after that, just on and off boyfriends, right? But that's still my mama. So I said, you know what, Mom? That's fine. You can come stay with me until you get your money up. Oh, son, thank you so much. I promise I won't be there long. Maybe 6 months. 6 months in total. Cool, Mom. That's fine. So she show up, right? She show up with her stuff. And it's a man with her. It's a man with her driving a U-Haul truck. I ain't never seen this man before a day in my life. She introduced the man to Derek. She said, yeah, this is Derek. This is my new boyfriend. I said, oh, okay. Nice to meet you, Derek. Then she said, well, I got to be completely honest. This is my husband. Oh, okay. But don't worry. He's just here to help me move in if you don't mind. Actually, I do. But you got a lot of furniture and stuff. I'm not going to say no to any help. But I do mind. But all right, that's fine, right? So we moved the stuff in, me and Derek. Derek stay for dinner. I said, okay, that's fine. Derek spend the night. I said, okay, that's fine. Derek done been there every night that she done been there. Oh, Derek stay here too. So I cornered my mom and I was like, hey, I thought you said Derek was just helping you move in. Oh, baby, I'm sorry. His lease was up, and since we're married, I figured he'd just come with me. I'm sorry about that. He also didn't have nowhere to go, but don't worry. We're going to get out of your hair soon. Okay, fine, Mama. That's cool. That's great. So Derek does some type of realtor, financial, whatever. I don't know what he do. Something in that realm. So he gets up about 6 a.m., goes, come back home around dinner time, and sometimes he brings food for us. He brings takeout, which is cool that he shares with everybody. Mama been making homemade meals sometimes, and I ain't had that in a while. She also started doing laundry and stuff like that. So it ain't been bad having them around. Derek also fixed the garbage disposal that was making a funny noise. So I was like, you know what? Few months ain't gonna hurt, right? So it turned to the first 30 days. On the 32nd day, on the dot, the 32nd day, my mom was showering. It was early in the morning. My mom was up there showering. Derek came, he knocked on my door. He said, hey, can we talk? I said, okay. Step up my room. We go into the kitchen. My mom's still up showering. You can hear the shower going. And Derek says, hey, we need to talk about the financial situation in the house. I want to make sure that everybody's contributing their fair share. And I said, okay. He said, well, after looking at the layout of the house and measuring the cubic meters and what you use and what we use, or square foot, whatever the fuck is that. After measuring the area that you use and that we use, it's determined that in order to be fair, you should pay us $800 a month in rent. I said, rent in my house? He said, yeah, it's only fair. Your mom's been doing all the cooking and cleaning. I've been fixing things around the house and we started picking up some of the bills, it would be right for you to contribute as well. I said, hey, I contribute paying the insurance on the house, the mortgage for the house, the other bills that you guys aren't covering for the house. And he said, well, yeah, that's just your investment in the house, but it's not actually contributing to keeping the house going, like how we get the groceries and stuff like that. After a month of staying here, I said, okay, well, I never asked you guys to do any of that. You guys are staying here for free. He said, well, I just think we should have some type of agreement. That way it all seems fair. The shower then stopped running. He said, think about it for a few days. Because now Mom, she out of the shower, right? So I go back to my room. Damn, what the hell? What just happened? I'm thinking about what he said, and I'm mad. I'm upset. I am angry. So I immediately go to my mom. I get to my mom before he get to her. I say, hey, Mom, did you know about this rent thing that your husband got going on? She said, well, looking all shocked inside her. Well, yeah, he did say something about talking about some type of financial thing, so yeah, he just wants to know, make it fair. And he said he want me to pay rent to y'all in my own house. She said, well, he's very good with money and those type of things, so maybe you should listen to him. I said, y'all are staying here for free. The agreement was for y'all to save up money, you specifically, because I didn't even know he was coming. You to save up money, that way you can have first and last month's rent to get you somewhere to stay. That was the agreement. She said, I don't know, sweetie. And walked away. Wanted me to think about it. Dare want me to think about it. So I said, you know what? Thinking about it, right? I called the realtor that sold me my house, because she said if I ever need to sell, to let her know. So I called her and I was like, hey, what would the market rate be if I wanted to rent out my house? She said, well, in your area for your house, if you were trying to do a bedroom thing, you could probably get by $1,400 a month. I said, oh, $1,400 a month. Not bad. I started calling a few leasing agents to see about getting this done. And I called 3 before I got to the last one. I got to the last one, I talked to a man named John. And I said, John, I'm thinking about renting out my house. He said, okay, cool. We can help with that. We can write up an agreement and we take care of everything. We just want 10%. And I said, okay, well, I already got some tenants. He said, oh, that's even better. We can, write it up if you got tenants that's already staying there. And I said, okay, the tenants are family members. He said, oh, okay. Well, we can get something done. So he said he was going to come to the house Monday, right? So I went back and I talked to Derek. I let him know. I said, hey, you know what? You're right. We do need to talk about the financial situation going on in the house. He said, oh, great. You're finally on board, huh? And I said, nah. Seeing as though y'all have been staying here for free and y'all are using my space and y'all are taking up this much square footage of my house, that would actually cost about $1,200 a month. Yeah, I'm going to need you to start coughing up $1,200 a month in rent. He said, what? No, we are already taking care of all this other stuff. And I said, no. I was taking care of that stuff before y'all got here, and I can take care of it even while y'all are here. However, since y'all aren't saving money, since y'all putting so much toward the bills, and y'all staying here for free, I figured, I'd look around and see, the market value going around, and yeah, $1,200 seems about right. He said, well, me and your mother, we're going to have to talk about that. We're going to have to think about that. Yeah, Derek, think it over. You got a couple of days. So, after that, the household seemed a little cold. Nobody was talking. Nobody was making dinner anymore. It was just basically strangers living in a house together, right? Monday, guess who showed up? John. So, I went and got Derek. When he got my mom, and I said, hey, I got somebody here ready to speak to y'all. John came in. He said, hey, how's everybody doing? I'm here to discuss the rental agreement. Derek said, huh? What? We never talked about a rental agreement. And I said, oh, no. Remember how you were saying, things need to be financially correct between everybody and that we need to get some type of rent established? Yeah, he's here to do that. Hi, my name's John. Listen, fair market value around here, $1,400. I heard you guys are looking to rent the master bedroom. Derek says, $1,400? What? Thought it was $1,200. We can't afford that. And I said, oh, no. Don't worry. I'm here to look out to make it fair. $1,200, John, $1,200. Yeah, for the master bedroom, they can have the bathroom and everything else is like a common area. Oh, okay, great. Well, yeah, we're here to set it all up for you to make everything official. And then Derek says, we don't need anybody to make it official. This is a family matter. John said, oh, no. When it comes to this, we are the best. I love John, by the way. We are the best. See, it's hard when it's between family members to make it all fair and put everything down. That's where we come in as the middlemen to basically make a fair agreement and make sure everybody's on the right page, because it's hard to mix family and business. Man, that boy need a raise. Derek said, choked up. Him and my mom started bickering back and forth. And Derek says, don't worry, we don't need it anymore. We'll get out of your hair. I looked at Mr. John, gave him a handshake, thanked him for his time, gave him a little tip. He left. That was Monday. Friday, that same week, they were gone. Now, I don't know if I like how quiet the house has become because I've gotten used to all the chatter and commotion, but it does feel good not to have to pay rent in my own house.